Greetings, YouTube. This is Yvette, and welcome to my channel where we're talking about fasting to get strength. We're talking about defeating the enemy, the fact that we are more than conquerors, which makes us super conquerors. We are taking our rightful place and taking dominion back over the earth because Jesus came and brought it back to us. And we're taking authority over the enemy. We're not afraid of the enemy on this channel, and he does not like us. And how do I know this? Because he's constantly attacking us. At the time that your blessing is about to show up, all kinds of activity happens in the atmosphere. Now, Satan is not everywhere, okay? But he has a kingdom of a bunch of demons. And they are all out trying to knock us off because they know our blessing is coming, okay? So at the very moment that you're about to get your blessing, that's when he shows up. So you have to stay the course, you guys. So I know we were fasting and some of you stopped fasting because you were like, too many things are going on. That's what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to stop. We're not running from him. We're going to take our rightful stand, okay? Because God is going to have a visitation with his people. And we want to be in position and we want to be ready. We just had our Torah story study last night. I always say Torah story, like Toy Story. Get mixed up on that words, but Torah study. We talked about the dietary laws, and here's what I'm going to put out there. I don't have my scriptures open, but from Leviticus 11, read it, okay? So part of what we're doing is we're trying to get ourselves in position to be able to receive from God. We want God to use us, bless us, okay? So remember, we're already praying for wisdom, asking God to give us wisdom like he gave Solomon. When you pray for wisdom and not things, God is already going to give you what you need. He's going to bless you with overflowing because he's going to bless you enough for yourself and enough for you to help somebody else. Okay? And that's the position we want to be in. So when we talk about dietary laws, look, we're going through the first 5 books of the Bible, which is the Torah. And that's the law that God gave to the people. But what we're learning in the Bible is where Jesus showed up in places and where God gave us messages and things because it's hidden in those scriptures, okay? So one of the things we're talking about is when you absolutely want to get close to God. And this is the place where we're at. Where we're like we're this elite group of people and we're taking a stand because we don't want this mediocre Christianity. We don't want this washed up stuff where we can't never get nothing done because our prayers aren't effective. You lay hands on somebody and don't nothing happen. We're not talking about being that kind of Christian. We're talking about being the believers that are movers and shakers. We want to be the ones that were like in the Bible where we saw him in the Old Testament and God would show up mightily. He didn't just show up mightily. Those people were praying and fasting. So anytime they needed victory, they would say, hey, look, we need to hear from God. There was a time when Joshua was supposed to go out and fight and they didn't hear from God. Like, should we go take the land? They didn't hear from God. They went out and did their thing and got killed. Then they came back and was like, no, we need to hear from God. So they would fast and pray. Okay. Hear from God, then go do their thing. This is the pattern all through the Bible. So because we just had Purim and we talked about Esther for 3 days, no food, no drink. And that's what we're doing starting tomorrow night. Okay. Sundown. So whatever sundown is for your time zone, when the sun goes down, it would be the sunset. So you can Google sunset for your city. That is the time your fast starts. So between now and then, make sure you hydrate. I'm enjoying myself. I had some Thai food tonight, and I haven't had Thai food in weeks. So that's nice. And so in the meantime, I'm getting myself cleaned out. You guys know how I feel about Senna. So about the dietary laws, let's get on that. I am so hungry and thirsty for God that I am choosing to eat the way he tells us to eat. So he's telling us that there are animals that are clean to eat and animals that are unclean. The unclean animals happen to be the animals that do things on the earth that clean it. God set up his own ecosystem where there were animals that we ate, animals that ate and cleaned up trash, animals that clean up on the earth, and animals that clean up in the ocean. The animals that clean up in the ocean. So he tells us we can eat fish that has both fins and scales. When you eat fish that have fins and no scales, they tend to be the ones, it has to have both for those, okay? They tend to be the ones that clean up the ocean, and they're toxic. So even now, so it's usually shellfish and bottom feeders. So things like sharks, things like catfish. I know we like some catfish and fried catfish, but catfish is a bottom feeder. Some halibut bottom feeders, and you could tell they're bottom feeders because their eyes will be more on top instead of on the side, and they're kind of built a certain way with their mouth flat and open so they can open to the ground and eat. So listen, you don't want to consume that kind of stuff because even man will tell you, doctors will tell you, oh, those things are very toxic. It's bad on your liver, bad on your kidneys. It's bad on your system because they take in toxins from the ocean and eat that junk, that rotting stuff. And I will admit, when I had catfish, honey, catfish is some good fish, but it's got all this flavor in it because eating all that other junk. I like crab and shrimp. Shrimp's not too much of my favorite, but I like, oh, I could eat some crab and shrimp. No, I will not touch that stuff. Mussels, clams, uh, calamari. What other kind of stuff do people eat? My daughter likes crawfish. All that kind of stuff. Those things clean up what's in the ocean, okay? So we don't eat that. On land, there's certain birds we don't eat. Vultures and hawks and things that eat, birds of prey that eat yucky stuff. We don't eat that kind of stuff, okay? There's birds that you can eat and birds that you shouldn't, that are unclean. Things like bats and and rats. And when you think about that stuff, this is what my pastor pointed out. He said some of that stuff is tied to demonic influences. If you watch movies, there's always a vulture, and he's right. Always bats, always rats, black cats, always that kind of stuff that we associate with witchcraft. You see that in movies. You don't usually have something beautiful, something nice, a wicked chicken. You don't usually have stuff like that. Chicken you can eat. It's kosher. It meets the guidelines. Then there's animals like pigs that you have to, animals that are clean are animals that chew the cud and have a split hoof. So even though a pig has a split hoof, it doesn't chew the cud. A cow chews cud and has a split hoof. You can eat that. Now, I happen to be a person that I prefer not to eat really meat, and I'm almost to the point where I'm about to give up this fish. My daughter is really good at cooking salmon. So every now and then I'll have some salmon, but I even chill on that kind of stuff. But I hunger and thirst after God so much that I don't want to eat the wrong kinds of foods. I really don't. I want to preserve my temple, and part of fasting is getting our temples in line because God does a miracle work in the spiritual and he'll do it for us in the physical. You'll have mental clarity when you fast and get all that junk out of your body. It happens for us all the time, okay? So listen, we're getting ready to push through some stuff. We got 2 weeks. And over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be beefing it up on my fast. I'm serious. I'm going to do a 3-day, come off for a day and go right back on the 3 days and come off and go back on because I really got to get this in line because I'm expecting God to do some amazing things in my life, as well as we need to get things in our space together because my room, I've been trying to reorganize. It looks like a tornado's in here because I've been trying to pull stuff out and get rid of stuff. And now I got to get stuff organized and get it done. So I'm excited these last 2 weeks to get my stuff together. I can't wait for Passover. And after Passover, we're having first fruits. So we're going to start talking about some of these times when God visits his people. So just remember, April 19th is a very important time. I don't know if you have a place in your city where you guys are doing a Passover meal that you can get involved in, or if you can watch a Passover meal, but it's important that you spend time on April 19th or go to a church, a service, a messianic service that you can find where they're going to teach you these kinds of things, because these are times when God is going to visit his people and we want to be found in his presence. I want to catch Jesus when he walks by. Okay, so I'm going to hang up now. We're going to talk tomorrow to prep ourselves for our fast. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate now. Okay, get things out of your house that are going to tempt you while you're on the fast. Prepare for the enemy to attack, but we are not ignorant of his devices, are we? We know he uses the same thing on all of us. So while we've been talking about how the enemy and things been going on in the atmosphere, I can tell you exactly what's been going on. People been tripping with you. Somebody done lied on you. People have an attitude flipping with you. Your kids acting up. Your spouse acting up. Your mom and daddy acting up. Church people acting up. People at work acting up. Your car broke down, something broke in the house, something got messed up, you got to replace, all this stuff, okay? I know he uses the same thing on all of us, okay? He's not original. He does the same thing. So when you see stuff happening around you, like I came down with a cold. I don't usually get sick. This is nobody but the enemy trying to attack me, try to keep me from going to church tonight because I was not feeling 100. I'm telling you now. I was coughing all night, all day, excuse me, and just trying to figure out what in the world's going on, but I am not holding on to this. I know what this is. This ain't nobody but the enemy trying to attack us before we get on that fast. Nuh-uh, my healing is around the corner. I'm walking into my healing, okay? I'm walking into my blessings. We don't fear the enemy here. Get a shofar. Blow your shofar. Let's be prepared for that. Hey, and you guys have channels. I want you guys to start doing some videos and start sharing what you learn with other people, because you're going to touch people that I don't touch. I'm going to touch people and reach people that you're not going to touch. And it's all about us sharing the gospel. Remember, that's what the disciples did. They had to go out. And adversity chased them out of the city to where they had the gospel spread, because they were perfectly fine ministering right where they were. But God had to send adversity so they could get the gospel to go out to other places. And they preached it everywhere they go, okay? Everywhere they went, they preached the gospel. So you preach the gospel and help another brother, sister to get to that place where they are not afraid of Satan, not afraid of the dark, not worried about what he's doing. No. He knows you don't know who you are because the way you act. No, I know who I am. I'm a child of the King, okay? A child of the King, the Messiah. Nobody can mess with God's people. That's who I am, okay? Chosen, a royal priesthood, just like you are. Take our rightful positions, okay? I'm so sorry to go on and on and on, but I'm so excited. I'm pumped about this, all right? Okay, you guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Until then, blessings, blessings. Pray for wisdom. We must pray for wisdom, all right? I'm going to sign off now, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.